I don't think anybody in Latin America would be surprised by that.
We're not
I don't
surprised.
think anybody in the Middle East is surprised by that. I don't think people in Africa are surprised by that. I don't think anybody is surprised that, the U.S. government had a hand in destabilizing foreign governments. You'll find a lot of people who say that they're Christians in this country couldn't be further from Christianity.
It's cool that they're releasing these files.
Yeah.
Releasing the files is not going to tell the people. The real is, this was a Mafia hit.
This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
Jay, they released more files for the JFK assassination. On March 18th, 2025, the National Archives released 63,000 pages of the JFK assassination documents with 17,000 more pending digitalization. This was, of course, done by executive order from Donald J. Trump and a coordination directive from the post-2017 JFK Records Act deadline mandating full declassification of the remaining files. There are still some included materials previously withheld from the 1992 JFK Assassination Records Collection Act that are now accessible without redactions. Basically, this was a big nothing burger for most things. Because I'm going to tell you what my theory of the JFK assassination is later.
Okay.
I'm going to go through my conspiracy theory and let it known, but it's been semi-documented that what I'm going to say actually happened. But one thing that I did find very, 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 very important in these released documents was this one specific thing. The document also included details about the involvement of U.S. intelligence agencies in attempting to overthrow foreign governments, detailing communication in 1963 between the CIA Director's Office and operatives in Cuba who were plotting to overthrow Fidel Castro government. Like, we already know about the CIA and trying to overthrow Cuba and Fidel Castro. But what didn't know was there was a CIA memo revealed details about covert activities dubbed E4D, aimed at removing the government of the Democratic Republic President Rafael Trujillo.
A Dominican Republic president.
What did I say?
Democratic.
Oh, well, he's supposed to be Democratic. It's supposed to be democratically elected. But the Dominican Republican President Rafael Trujillo. And so the reason why I found this important is because you have a lot of people, I know I'm going off subject here because you're specifically talking about the JFK files, but you have a lot of people that are complaining about the migrant crisis here in America, but don't want to look at the constant destabilization that the U.S. government and CIA operatives have done to Central and South America. We have destroyed
throughout Latin America.
We
and
have
the Caribbean.
For decades. 4 decades, we have overthrown governments. We put people in power that have been corrupt, that we found out later. Manuel Noriega. Like, these are things that we've done. And so that was the big takeaway for me for these JFK release files, is that we always into some ish. But what do you think?
No, I think that's the U.S. playbook. We're honestly seeing it in our own country right now. These are all I said this before, that everything that the Trump administration is doing right now is a destabilization tactics that you typically see us do to foreign governments. I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody in Latin America would be surprised by that.
We're not
I don't
surprised.
think anybody in the Middle East is surprised by that. I don't think anybody's surprised. I don't think people in Africa are surprised by that. I don't think anybody is surprised that, the U.S. government had a hand in destabilizing foreign governments. That's surprise. No, that's not surprising at all. It feels really on brand.
You want to hear my JFK conspiracy?
I would love to. I'm going to be honest with you, because I don't have a dog in this fight. I honestly never really was concerned about it at all. No.
It was traumatic, because I remember our paternal grandmother talking about the assassination of JFK and how much that devastated her. I mean, the assassination he was a beloved person for certain people.
Yes.
Here's where my conspiracy theory comes in. So the current president said that the 2020 election was stolen.
Yes.
It wasn't.
No.
But John Kennedy, and more importantly, his father, did absolutely steal the election that he won.
Oh, yeah.
His father, Joe Kennedy, who had ties to organized crime dating all the way back to Prohibition, where he was bootlegging, right, contacted mafia officials and made a deal with them to help get his son elected by doing some nefarious things, more importantly in Illinois, right? Doing some, but all over the country, doing some nefarious things to make sure that he got elected and he would look out for him. Because it was around this time that they started, like senators started bringing them in front of hearings and started openly displaying, hey, look, there's an Italian organized crime situation going on in this country that y'all need to know about. So more than a few mob bosses, the whole commission got together. And we're talking about New York, Chicago, Florida, New Orleans, all got together to help John Kennedy steal the election. And he absolutely stole it from Richard Nixon. He then appointed his brother Bobby as Attorney General. And Bobby immediately went right after organized crime. So they were pissed. They're like, we put you in office and you turn around and you try to come get us. So Santo Trafficante in Florida, Carlos Mencia in New Orleans put together a hit to assassinate the president. Yes, they used Lee Harvey Oswald, but Lee Harvey Oswald had ties to the Dallas mob connections. It has been openly discussed by mob people that yes, they had a hand in that it was a mob hit. There is not some grand conspiracy that the CIA no. The mafia assassinated the president, and they assassinated the president is because he went back on what he said that he was going to do. And I believe that they also assassinated Bobby because the last thing they wanted was the man that was going after him to become president.
Yeah.
So
and he was on his way, I think.
Yeah, no. He was on his way.
Yeah.
He was on his way. So that's that's who killed Kennedy. All right.
That feels right.
That was a mob hit.
Yeah,
and
that
I
feels
can name names because the mob people talk about it. And I don't really like him as a person per se. The guy, his name is Michael Francis. He has a YouTube channel, and then of course Sonny Gravano has a YouTube channel. But they back Trump, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Y'all are racist, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
like Sammy Gravano has AB Aryan Brotherhood tattoos on his body. So I was like, he's like, I'm not racist. I'm like, you got Aryan Brotherhood tattoos on your body. Like,
so,
and I know in jail things are different. Like you have to click up with your race.
Yeah.
But that's what you did.
Yeah.
And they're both some snitches. You know, Michael Francis say that he's not a snitch, but he is a snitch. You know, you took an oath that this thing was secret.
Yeah.
So now you openly talking about it. That means you broke your oath. You're a snitch. And I don't like the fact that he always be praising the Lord, but still banking off of his illegal stuff. Like he's got a whole YouTube channel dedicated to Mafia.
Yeah.
Now, like if you were born again and you in Christ, ain't you supposed to forsake that old life? You still profiting over it.
Right.
That don't seem like that's Christ-like to me.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of people who say that they're Christians in this country couldn't be further from Christianity. You'll find that. You will find that.
All right, but we're detouring. But yes, so it's cool that they're releasing these files. But releasing the files is not going to tell the people the real. The real is this was a mafia hit.
Yeah.
And people were like thinking, there's no way that they could kill a president. Yes, they can.
Yeah.
They are so, at that time, they were so connected.
Yes.
The US government made a deal with the mafia to protect the New York ports because they knew the mafia had control of New York ports so that the ports wouldn't be part of attacks while they were in World War II.
Wow.
Like the mafia was connected and integrated.
Yeah.
This was a hit. That's all it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's nothing deeper than that. Mafia hit.
Yeah. And now presidents ride around in armored cars. So there you go.
He was supposed to be in an armored car. That was another reason. They had somebody on their side. They
Oh,
did.
yeah, I'm
They
sure, for
they had
sure.
to have somebody on their side. But on that note, we don't need to add no more to the JFK assassination because Mafia killed his ass.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.